Let's say hello and welcome to our friends on Facebook Live. Hello, everyone. Welcome on this beautiful Monday morning in Atlanta, Georgia, Pine Lake, Georgia, I should
Let's
say.
say hello and
Evening
welcome to
other places. On day 1030. Thank you, Carolyn, for keeping us on track. And we know because this is January 30th and we had day 1000 on New Year's Eve. We have a wonderful guest coming to us today from across the pond. I will introduce him shortly, but first, let me just say hello to all of you beautiful people that are here today. Hello, Katie from College Park. So good to see you, and thank you for keeping us looking and sounding good. Guillermo Rozenthuler, coming to us from London, but from Argentina. You'll hear a lot more about him in just a few. Thank you to Joe. You're here, and you are birthing this beautiful thing and keeping us growing. Hello, Kevin, with your flute, and Jim Harkless, so good to see you. Hello, Laris in the UK. Hello, Fred in Silver Spring, and Carolyn in Boise. I'm so glad it's sunny today. Hello, Susan G. Hello, Lindy and Jim in NYC. Hello, Mabel and the Bears, and Kathy and Chico. And hello to Amanda and Miles in Michigan. Dory and Ollie and Bob and Arlene in Berkeley. Hello, Kate in Charlottesville, Kathleen in Albuquerque, Sheila in Florida. Hello, Cricket dancing in Maryland. Hello, Ruth in Birmingham, UK, not Alabama. Hello, Delhi. Hello, Dan in Vienna. Hello, Gary and Jean in Pittsburgh, Lud and Victoria, Susan in Seattle, Aloysius. Hello, Julia and Bonnie in Boise, Chuck and Detroit, and Linda on Orcas Island. Hello, Nancy and your Irish cow. Hello, Phil in Totnes, UK. Hello, Penny and Ralph in Victoria, Annette in California. Hello, Tom in Nashville. So good to see some curly tops are here from Vermont. Hello, Hindi and Bronwyn and Field. Hello, Loriana, Kachina, and Courtney in Vermont, and Bob and the Bear. Hello, Jenny, with your beautiful sunflower. Marcia, Isabel, Carol in Connecticut. Hoda in BC. And the Middlebury friends from the Quaker community. Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the Daily Antidote of Song. Greetings, everyone. So good to see you. I'm Elise Witt coming into you from Pine Lake, Georgia, and I'm very happy today to present to you a very good friend of mine that I've known for, I think, almost 3 years now, but I've never met. One of my best friends I've never met, Guillermo Rozenthuler, who's coming to us from London, UK, and he is from Argentina. He is an amazing musician, deeply steeped in the music of his country of Argentina, but branching out into jazz, and an incredible teacher of improvisational singing and bringing music back to where it belongs, into our hearts, our lives, and our classrooms. So, welcome, Guillermo. We're so happy to sing with you today and looking forward to seeing what we're going to sing.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Wow, this is quite overwhelming. So, shall I start with the song?
You shall start with a song,
Oh.
tell us about it, teach it to
Yeah,
us. We're
it's a
happy to sing
song,
with you.
it's a traditional anonymous song from Argentina. The style of music is called huayno, Huayno. That's the spelling we have in Argentina. It's a word that comes from Quechua, from the native South American language, and it's a song and a dance. And I'm going to sing this first in a kind of more traditional way with a little hand drum called caja and with a bit of the inflections that we sing it in this style. The song is very short and very, I suppose, philosophical. It's a conversation between a man and a flower about how ephemeral life is. And I have to confess that the third verse that you see there is not the original one. I'll tell you about the original one later. bonitos colores tienes, colores de mis esperanzas, colores de mis ilusiones. Plantita de alelí, que parecida es nuestra suerte, que para ti llega el invierno y para mí llega la muerte. Plantita de alelí, que sabia y bella es nuestra vida, lo que en invierno se marchitó, en primavera renacerá. ¡Ay!
Wow, fantastic, beautiful.
Thank you. So that's sung in the style of what we call, oh, sorry, my microphone is falling down, what we call copla, which is the a cappella song that the originary people have cultivated, which is sometimes has very philosophical lyrics. And I'm going to now sing it to you in a different way, and so that you can start hearing the lyrics and also becoming familiar with the melody. And then I'm going to teach line by line the melody. So this is a kind of new arrangement of it. Is the guitar coming on all right? Plantita de alelí, qué bonitos colores tienes, colores de mis esperanzas, colores de mis ilusiones. Plantita de alelí, que parecida es nuestra suerte. Plantita de alelí, que parecida es nuestra suerte, que para ti llega el invierno y para mí llega la muerte, que para ti llega el invierno y para mí llega la muerte. Plantita de alelí, que sabia y bella nuestra vida. Plantita de alelí, que sabia y bella es nuestra vida. Lo que en invierno se marchitó, en primavera renacerá.
Oh, it's so beautiful, both versions. And of course, the original version comes through in your reimagined version.
Thank you. So is everybody ready to learn this?
We are.
You have the lyrics at the chat. I'm seeing myself spotlighted, so I can only see 4 or 5 of you.
You can
So-
change to gallery view if you'd like.
Oh, I think I would love that for this
Yeah, it's
moment.
really cool.
Yeah,
Everybody singing because
that's great. Hello, everyone. So I'll keep the guitar here for a reference. So basically, we are lucky because in this style, every phrase repeats twice. So first we're going to learn it line by line, but then I'm going to sing each phrase twice, and you can always join me in the repeat. So you have the words already? Great. Plantita de alelí, Plantita de alelí, qué bonitos colores tienes. Qué bonitos colores tienes. So let's go back to the top and add a pulse to that, so that you get more of a sense of the rhythm. Plantita de alelí, plantita de alelí, qué bonitos colores tienes. Qué bonitos colores tienes. How are we doing with this so far? Shall we put these two together? You'll find out that if you count that the length of these phrases is irregular. This is very typical of this style because the poetry is quite open, so it's not made of equal lines. So don't try to find the regularity because it will be a bit haphazard like this. So let's go again from the beginning. 1, 2. So I'll sing it once. You can join me if you know it, and if not, I will repeat those 2 lines and you sing after me. Plantita de alelí, qué bonitos colores tienes. Plantita de alelí, qué bonitos colores tienes. Okay, let's go with the next part. Colores de mis esperanzas. Colores de mis esperanzas. Colores de mis ilusiones. Colores de mis ilusiones. One more time, line by line, with the pulse. Colores de mis esperanzas. Your turn. Colores de mis esperanzas. My turn. Colores de mis ilusiones. Your turn. Colores de mis ilusiones. Now we'll put both of them together without the gap in the middle. So I'll do it once on my own and then you have a go. Colores de mis esperanzas, colores de mis ilusiones. One more time. Colores de mis esperanzas, colores de mis ilusiones. And let's go back to the top. So I suggest that we do it call and response. I sing 2 lines, you reply. This is all the melody. There's no more melodic content. All the rest is the lyrics. Plantita de alelí, qué bonitos colores tienes. Plantita de alelí, qué bonitos colores tienes. Colores de mis esperanzas, colores de mis ilusiones. Colores de mis esperanzas, colores de mis ilusiones. How are you doing with this shape? Good, great. Now you are going to be singing both repeats, and we will take that boring bar of emptiness from in between the phrases. So we're going to go, like I can see Susan Miller was already ready. We're going to take away that gap and we'll repeat it straight away. So imagine that this has a pulse and it's a very strong 1. So don't think 1 and 2. This is all what matters is the 1. So when you finish the repeat, plantita de alelí, qué bonitos colores tienes. Again, plantita de alelí, qué bonitos colores tienes. And colores de mis esperanzas, colores de mis ilusiones. Again. Colores de mis esperanzas, colores de mis ilusiones. And a bit of a larger pause here. Next line. Plantita de alelí, qué parecida es nuestra suerte. Plantita de alelí, qué parecida es nuestra suerte. Que para ti llega el invierno y para mí llega la muerte. Que para ti llega el invierno y para mí llega la muerte. Last verse. Plantita de alelí, que sabia y bella es nuestra vida. Plantita de alelí, que sabia y bella es nuestra vida. Lo que en invierno se marchitó, en primavera renacerá. Lo que en invierno se marchitó, en primavera renacerá. And now lie, lie, lie. Lie, 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 la 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 la. La 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 la. Once again. La 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 la. La 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 la. First verse again. Plantita de alelí, qué bonitos colores tienes. Plantita de alelí, qué bonitos colores tienes. Colores de mis esperanzas, colores de mis ilusiones. Colores de mis esperanzas, colores de mis ilusiones.
Wow. Oh my goodness, that was so much fun. And you are a wonderful teacher. I saw everybody just singing right along in Español, sin problemas. Can you tell us a little bit about the song and its
Yeah, as I said, it's an anonymous song. I learned it as a child. I had some really nice music teachers at school who were very interested in teaching kids some of the traditional songs. And I learned it as Florcita de Alelí. And these traditional oral tradition songs have always variations in the lyrics and different versions. I did something for you, which was to prepare these two YouTube links, which I forgot to put, but I'm going to paste them right now in the chat if I can. And alongside those, I'm going to put the lyrics of the third verse that I chose to teach in a more optimistic way. So the original lyrics of the third verse said, little blossom flower, what is the point of being beautiful if tomorrow your flowers will wither on my grave?
Oh.
I thought it was a bit of a sad ending for the song. So I decided to rewrite it, celebrating a bit more the cycles of life and speaking about what is born again in spring.
Beautiful.
And I have been teaching it like that for a long time, and I just tell people that so that they know what the traditional version is. But that's what was originally written.
Yeah.
And so the two versions I sent you are, one is from a really traditional native northern Argentinian man who actually says something really beautiful at the beginning, which is we sing all the time in our life. We sing to accompany our labors when we, care for the animals and tend for the land. And we also sing in funerals. We sing as we cry. We sing all the time. And then you will hear the song in a really traditional version with the charango, with the Argentine and Andean. I mean, this is Andean. The Andean tradition, it takes a bit in the northwest of Argentina, but it's very strong in Bolivia, Peru, and all the way up to Ecuador. And some of these songs are shared multiculturally, which is something that I found out in London. When I sang them, I got people from Ecuador or from Peru singing with me, which
Oh,
was very lovely.
wow, interesting. Yeah. And thank you for keeping that tradition alive.
I am doing my best, but a lot of people in Argentina are doing a lot more. And, I hope you have the chance to access more Argentinian music because the folklore is being both honored and reinvented in 1,000 ways. And I'm very happy about that.
As in so many places. Tell us a little bit about what you're up to. You have so many, I don't know, your roots and your sprouts and your blooms are large.
Yeah, I have a, as you say that, I think of another phrase, which is like sometimes the seedling needs to grow far away from the big tree so that it can really open the branches. And this is what I tell myself of why I ended up living in the UK. Although, Argentina is a very welcoming place, but, I feel I I came in search for space to expand my branches, and I'm very grateful that I could do that. And well, I can share a tiny bit about my journey. I started in Argentina as a jazz singer because I loved improvising, and that was my only avenue to improvisation was scat. So, with my heavily accented English, I sang, jazz standards. I transcribed Ella Fitzgerald and Mel Torme and so on. And then
Wow.
I moved to Europe and realized that it was more intelligent to share some of the music from my part of the world. So I kind of glided from jazz to Argentinian folklore and tango, and also Brazilian and South American music.
But I'm sure they all still weave together, the
They
influence.
are woven together, and I realized that jazz for me is a lens. It's in my choice of chords and in how I understand rhythm, and the way to change melodies is where jazz stayed in me, and I haven't abandoned it. I see some amazing things being shared here at the chat. Some people who are very knowledgeable about Andean music.
Yes.
Oh, I'm glad they appreciated my new rendition of the lyrics.
Yes, and sometimes when I'm hosting someone who doesn't speak English, who speaks Spanish, I also get some. My Spanish is okay, but not perfect, and so I get a lot of help from folks here in the room. We have many bi, tri, quadra, quinta, whatever lingual people here, and people that are very interested. Also in education. And I know that you are an amazing teacher, as we just witnessed with the way that you taught us the song. But talk a little bit more about conversation that we were having earlier about just wanting to get the improvisation into schools for younger people so that it blossoms early.
Yeah, well, first I have not abandoned but moved a bit sideways from being an interpreter of Latin American music into vocal improvisation. And I do it because I love the form, but also because I think it puts me in touch with music without borders. A music that anyone can be a part of, regardless of where they come from. They have the possibility to join in, to relate, to connect. And I've been practicing it for quite a while now, but I'm really fascinated about teaching it and sharing it with others, especially with people who are working with others in music. Because for me, if improvisation is woven in music teaching as one of the skills to develop, you make people who have natural musicianship rather than learned academic musicianship. They are in tune with their intuition, with their dancing, with their rhythm, with their natural voice, and I'm really passionate about that, about nurturing what is natural in us humans. And I feel that, in our cultures in the West, music has become a bit separated from life, and improvisation is for me a way to bring music back to the weave of life.
Yes, definitely. And I know that we have a lot of educators in the room, and a lot of people who have, beautiful experience with teaching. You run a lot of workshops for different kinds of things. Can you tell us a little bit? You're kind of all over the world.
Yes, and I thought as we spoke, I thought I wanted to say something else because I don't know pretty much anyone in this room, and it is that I think when we hear the word improvisation, we have some ideas about it, which are perhaps of something quite complex, perhaps
And
of something
scary.
not very, quite daunting to practice and quite difficult to listen. But actually, the people that are, well, my and I think Elise's heroes, like Bobby McFerrin or Rhiannon, they improvise in a way that is accessible to everyone. And I really believe that one of the things I want to leave behind is to change these perceptions of improvisation and for it to be play, play and music and love of music and mutuality. That's what improvisation is.
I
And
know
so,
I always thought of it as sort of having to jump off a cliff and having, no parachute and not knowing. And I think that that's kind of the association that in the bigger picture is what a lot of people think about with improvisation, like, oh my gosh. But what I tell my students is you're basically using everything you know and have learned and have experienced to create something new. So it's not you're not jumping into the void.
but also for me, there are two other things. First is if you don't focus in your own expression and in your own voice, and you focus more in the relationship and in the togetherness, then what you practice is different ways to relate in the moment to what's occurring musically. So, and every voice counts. So I always give the same metaphor in the village, in the tribe. If there is a man with vocal paralysis who can only make this sound, that becomes the drone and becomes part of the collective song. He's no less than, he's not excluded. So for me, this is really important that all the voices matter and that, everyone can participate. And of course, there's graduations between improvisation as a community activity and as an art form, which can have high skilled competences. But I'm really interested in the community side. And what I teach in my workshops is the community side, most of it. So when I do retreats, I want people to hang out together and sing and feel free to be themselves.
So I love that. Talk a little bit about some of the workshops that you have coming up because we have people here from all over and people who might even travel. So you're doing some exciting things. I know
Great.
you're actually coming to the United States.
I am for the first time coming to teach to the United States in August. At the moment I have one date in Boston and another date in North Carolina in the first fortnight of August. And I'm actually coming in parallel to a family holiday, so I'm not gonna go on a teaching tour, but hopefully I'll get to meet as many of you as possible and just plant a seed to go again. Perhaps I'm gonna do something in Elise's neck of the woods,
I
but
hope so.
I would love that. But what I am doing regularly is online classes, which I was very cynical about it 3 years ago, and I'm blown away by the depth of content, connection, and uh, potential in them. I really believe there is something beautiful to be explored there. So that's that's one of the things I'm very passionate about, and they are starting actually the day after tomorrow again, restarting this year. And then I run retreats. This year there are two retreats before the summer, one in Madeira, in this Portuguese island in the Atlantic, and one in Samos, Greece. They are open for all levels and for everyone. And then I'm doing also training for vocal leaders, where I try to help people who want to facilitate this type of music in community settings, with children, with other adults, in different contexts. And that's something else that I'm really passionate about. But you just go and check out the link so that I don't talk about myself so much because I don't like it.
Well, that's great. We will, everybody copy those links, and let's get back to the music.
Great.
So
So
we'll
I
song one more time.
have a slightly different proposition for now.
Yes,
I have my looper on. I think it works. Can you hear that little percussion?
yes, we can.
That means it works. Great. So
Cool.
we have a little guide drumming there. I'm not going to use it much for recording, but I want to show you something that we do in Argentina, and it's not done with voices, but it might be fun for you to practice at home. And it is that once people learn one of these simple melodies, what they do is they are played with this instrument called tarcas or antaras, and they are all tuned in different tunings. So let's say one is tuned in F, one is tuned in C, one is tuned in G, one is tuned in B flat. So they all play the same melody in the same key, but it sounds different, and you get these parallel fourths and fifths, and it's a very typical song from the northwest of Argentina, la tarqueada. So this is, let me see if I can give you a flavor of how that might sound. So let's say I go with la 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 la. Can you hear that? So the next one will start here. So it's like a crazy chaos. That's part of it. Imagine people dancing. If I could, I would dance. Plantita de alelí, qué bonitos colores tiene. Plantita, plantita de alelí, qué bonitos colores tienes. Plantita de alelí, qué bonitos colores tienes. Plantita de alelí, qué bonitos colores tienes. Let's carry on. Colores de mis esperanzas, colores de mis ilusiones, colores de mis esperanzas, colores de mis ilusiones.
Oh, so beautiful. You can see from the smiles and the dancing, and we even had Miles and Amanda playing zampoñas.
Yeah, and I saw some people dancing there.
Yes. Look
That's
at, oh my goodness,
amazing.
look at all the zampoñas. Can you see
It's,
Amanda and Miles in Michigan?
yeah.
Wow.
Wow, what a collection. It is so lovely to see you all. And I'm so glad to have been invited, Elise. Thank you so much.
It's
Uh,
wonderful, and we hope you'll come back sometime. Um,
Also to Katie and Joe, thanks for your hospitality.
yes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited.
I'd
I,
love to come back and do maybe a virtual circle song, do something else, completely
oh my
different.
goodness. Okay, count on it. Definitely, we will
L-
talk.
Lots of love. Have a
Thank you
beautiful
so
week
much,
ahead.
Guillermo. So thanks, and let's say goodbye to everyone on Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us today for this beautiful session with Guillermo Rozenthuler, coming to us from London, England, with the roots deep down into Argentina. Thank you, everyone, for joining the Daily Antidote of Song. Thank you, Kevin in DC and Jim Harkless in Maryland. Thank you, Laris in the UK. Thank you, Jojo and Katie, for keeping us all together and technically working. Thank you, Carolyn in Boise, Susan G, and Bob and Mabel and the Bears. Thank you, Kathy and Chico. Thank you, Amanda and Miles. Thank you, Dory and Ollie. Thank you, Bob and Arlene in Berkeley. Thank you, Kate in Charlottesville. So good to see you, Kathleen in Albuquerque, Cricket in Maryland, and Ruth in Birmingham, UK. Thank you, Dan in Vienna. Thank you, Luda in Victoria in Ontario, Bonnie and Boise on Orcas Island. Thank you, Chuck in Detroit. Thank you, Nancy, and your beautiful Irish cow. Thank you, Phil. Always good to see you coming in from Totnes, UK, or wherever you may be in the world. Thank you, Penny and Ralph in Victoria, Nat in California, Linda in Concord, Massachusetts. Thank you, Juana La Tejana. Thank you, Willard, and whatever curly tops are joining you. Hello, Nancy, and welcome. So good to see you. Thank you, Gary and Susan in Seattle, and on your iPhone, and Storm wearing yet another fantastic hat. Thank you, Hindi and Fred in Silver Spring, Aloysius in Massachusetts, Loriana Kachina and Courtney in Vermont, and Marcia, Carol in Connecticut, Elizabeth in Portland, Anna in Cambridge, LMG, and Joe. Thank you, everyone, and especially to Guillermo. Thank you for that beautiful song. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Tomorrow is John McCutcheon, and the next day I'll be back on the weekend with Dr. Fred Onowero-Suoke, bringing us music from the continent of Africa. Thank you from the Daily Antidote of Song. So long. Have a beautiful day, everyone.